Hi, it's Brian Kaplan. I'm editor of the Banker magazine. I'm here with Daniel Marlow, who's the Middle East and Africa editor for the Banker. And Daniel's just returned from a trip to the Gulf, to Qatar and Dubai. And Dubai is obviously a part of the world that's experienced a good deal of pressure over the last few months as a result of the financial crisis. So Daniel will be writing a report for the June issue of the Banker. But I thought it'd be useful to get his feelings on the kind of business climate out in Dubai at the moment. So Daniel, just actually literally stepped off the plane, and you've been in the United Arab Emirates, in Dubai. Obviously, we've been following the story about the difficulties they've had with the debt repayments and the impact that's had on the business community. What's been the mood that you've found there with your talks with bankers and the business community?
The mood seems to be one of, I guess, cautious optimism. The overall issue of the Dubai World debt repayment plan is still in the process of being finalised. But the details are almost complete at this point. They're not in the position right now where they're able to reveal those details, but certainly the mood among many people seems to be one of optimism.
And you'll have had a chance to talk to some of the banks. How are they looking at things? Is their business suffering? Are the deals getting done, or are they having to sort of sit there and wait for things to pick up?
Well, a number of the local sort of UAE domiciled banks have been directly exposed to what's happened there, but certainly the debt repayment plan should help to restore confidence and bring better balance to their finances.
Now, Dubai is a place where a huge expatriate population lives, and we heard all these reports in the throes of the crisis about expatriates leaving their BMWs at the airport and flying home. Is that sort of thing? Is that just a fable, or are the expatriate population still there and thriving, or are they starting? Are they leaving?
Well, it's been a mix, but certainly the main service sector seems to be going well at this point in time. Naturally, a lot of people have suffered throughout the crisis, but Dubai as an economic centre still continues to function. The banks still seem to be optimistic about their activities. Some even told me that they're in the process of expanding.
And property is a big play in Dubai, isn't it? Because everybody was making money out of property. And then we've had the crisis. Are there a lot of offices empty now, or are people still selling up their properties and getting out?
Yes, the property issue is rather delicate at this point in time. A lot of projects had been promised and planned, but due to financing issues, have not managed to be built. So certainly that is an issue. There are still a number of developments being built at this point in time. It's unclear as to who will be taking up those properties, but certainly, yeah.
I mean, obviously, the big plan was that Dubai would emerge as the international financial centre for the region, and we saw new regulations put in place. We've seen a lot of building. We've seen international banks moving in there. How is that coming along now, and what sort of impact has the crisis had on the development of the financial centre?
The financial centre still continues to thrive, with obviously the Dubai International Financial Centre being at the heart of it, the DIFC. They certainly seem quite optimistic about the future of that particular project. It's developed well. It's still nearing completion in parts. It's still not a complete entity at this point, but certainly still attracting a lot of companies, a lot of movement last year.
And you also went on your trip to Qatar. I was actually in Qatar last year, and I mean, it's very impressive what they're trying to do there with this big push. They also want to establish themselves as a financial centre, very much focused on asset management, and a big push on education and training. Did you get a sort of catch up on how far they've got with some of those projects?
Certainly, in terms of the Qatar Financial Centre, they have moved further along with trying to narrow their aims and to focus in on certain areas of the financial services industry, and that seems to be taking shape. The Qatar Foundation itself is still growing at this point in time, but has made significant progress. We met with one or two of the main players there, and they seem to be optimistic about Qatar's future as an education hub for the region. So.
Okay, so the news from both Qatar and Dubai seems to be that they've obviously been knocked a little bit by the financial crisis, but they both seem to be recovering fast. And we'll be carrying reports on both countries in the next issue of the Banker, the June issue.